Welcome to the Leo Wellness Podcast. I'm Eric.
And I'm Zay, your guides to the most fascinating corners of wellness research.
Today, we're diving deep into something you specifically requested.
Oh, yeah.
KP. That's short for Caffeic Acid Phenethyl Ester.
Oh, okay.
We've got your notes and a whole stack of research articles here.
Wow.
And it looks like you're really intrigued by its potential benefits.
Yes, and for good reason. CAPE is generating a lot of buzz in the wellness world.
Right.
It seems to have a finger in just about every pie when it comes to health.
Okay, let's unpack this. First off, where does KP even come from?
It's actually found in propolis.
Propolis.
Yeah, that sticky resin honeybees use to build and protect their hives.
Oh, well.
It's essentially bee glue, but this bee glue seems to pack a serious punch when it comes to human health.
Bee glue fighting human diseases. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
What is it about CAPE that makes it so special?
What's fascinating is that CAPE appears to be what we call a pleiotropic compound, meaning it has multiple effects on the body. And we're not talking about just one or two benefits.
Right.
It's potentially antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, antimicrobial, neuroprotective, and immunomodulatory.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. How does one compound do so many different things? Seems almost too good to be true.
Right. It might sound unbelievable, but there's a growing body of research supporting these claims.
Okay.
CAPE seems to act like a master key fitting into various locks in our body systems.
Interesting.
One way it works is by modulating a protein complex called NF-κB.
NFP.
Yeah, you can think of NFP like an alarm system in your body.
Okay.
Sometimes it's helpful, like when it triggers inflammation to fight off an infection.
Right.
But other times it can overreact, leading to chronic inflammation that contributes to diseases like cancer or arthritis.
Ah, I see.
CAPE can help to quiet that alarm when needed.
So KP can potentially reduce inflammation, which you know is a factor in so many chronic diseases.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Yep.
You also mentioned KP has anti-cancer properties. What kind of research has been done there?
There's a lot of exciting research happening in that area.
Okay.
Studies have shown that KP can inhibit tumor growth, prevent cancer cells from spreading, and even make chemotherapy more effective.
Wow.
And this isn't just limited to one or two types of cancer.
Right.
We're talking breast cancer, prostate cancer, leukemia, the list goes on.
That's incredibly promising.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also curious about the neuroprotective effects.
Brilliant.
You mentioned Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, right? What's going on there?
This is where it gets really fascinating.
Okay.
CAPE seems to have a particular affinity for the brain.
Uh-huh.
It can cross the blood-brain barrier, which is a protective shield that makes it difficult for many substances to reach the brain.
Right.
Once there, KPE helps to protect brain cells from damage caused by things like oxidative stress and inflammation, both of which play a role in neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
So in a way, it's like KP is providing a shield for our brains against those damaging processes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's some evidence that CAPE may even be able to reduce amyloid beta plaques in the brain, which are a hallmark of Alzheimer's disease.
That's remarkable.
Mhm.
It sounds like KP is showing promise for a really wide range of conditions. I also saw in the research that it's been studied for things like arthritis, colitis, and even wound healing.
Yes, you're right. And don't forget its antimicrobial properties.
Oh, right.
Research shows it can even fight off certain bacteria, fungi, and viruses. It's honestly amazing how versatile this compound is.
It really makes you wonder how something derived from bee glue can have such a profound impact on human health.
Nature is full of surprises, isn't it? But it's important to remember that most of the research on CAPE has been conducted in the lab or on animals.
Right, so we need more research to fully understand its effects on humans, especially when it comes to things like dosage and potential side effects.
Absolutely. And speaking of safety, what do we know about that with CAPE?
Well, studies suggest that it's generally well tolerated, especially at lower doses. But, like with many substances, high doses might cause some gastrointestinal issues.
Makes sense.
And of course, anyone with a bee allergy should avoid it completely.
Good point. Always important to be mindful of allergies. So far, we've covered a lot of ground. What stands out to you the most about KP?
Honestly, it's the sheer breadth of CAPE's potential benefits that blows me away.
I hear you.
From battling cancer to protecting our brains, boosting the immune system, and even speeding up wound healing. It's incredible to think something found in bee glue could have such widespread effects.
It is pretty remarkable.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this research so fascinating. What are some areas of KP research that you think deserve more attention?
That's a great question. You mentioned in your notes that you were particularly interested in CAPE's potential for treating autoimmune diseases.
Yes,
And I think that's definitely an area ripe for further exploration.
that's right. Given CAPE's ability to regulate the immune system and reduce inflammation, it seems like it could be a game changer for conditions like rheumatoid arthritis or lupus.
Absolutely. And we'll delve deeper into those areas and some of the research supporting those potential benefits in part 2 of our deep dive.
That sounds great. So until next time.
Stay curious. Welcome back to the deep dive. We're picking up where we left off, exploring the fascinating world of Cape E and its incredible potential for human health.
We talked about its anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer affects its ability to protect the brain and even fight off infections. And you mentioned that one area that deserves more attention is KP's potential for treating autoimmune diseases.
Right. And this is where we can connect back to what we discussed earlier about Cape E's ability to modulate NFE, that protein complex that plays a key role in inflammation. You see, in autoimmune diseases, the immune system mistakenly attacks the body's own tissues, leading to chronic inflammation and damage.
So it's like the immune system is stuck in overdrive and Kate can help to dial it back down.
Exactly. And there's some encouraging research to support this idea. For instance, studies on colitis and inflammatory bowel disease have shown that Cape E can significantly reduce inflammation in the gut.
Oh, wow. So it actually,
It's like applying a soothing balm to the irritated intestinal lining.
that's really interesting. But have there been any studies specifically looking at KP and other autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis?
While large-scale human trials are still needed, the preclinical research is quite promising.
Okay.
One study found that Cape E was able to reduce joint swelling and cartilage damage in an animal model of arthritis.
Interesting.
This suggests that Cape E might be able to slow down the progression of the disease and improve quality of life for those suffering from it.
That's incredibly encouraging. The idea that a natural compound could offer relief to millions of people struggling with autoimmune diseases is truly remarkable.
It is. And if we think about the bigger picture here, the implications are huge. Autoimmune diseases affect a significant portion of the population, and current treatments often come with a long list of side effects.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're right. Many of the medications used to suppress the immune system can leave patients vulnerable to infections and other complications.
Precisely. So a natural compound like Cape E, with its potent anti-inflammatory properties and relatively low toxicity, could offer a safer and more effective approach to managing these conditions.
It would be a game changer for sure. It's like finding a key that unlocks the body's natural healing abilities.
That's a great way to put it. But of course, it's important to remember that we need more research, especially human trials, to confirm these findings and determine the optimal dosage and long-term effects.
Of course, safety and rigorous scientific validation are paramount, but it's definitely an exciting area to watch.
It is. And it speaks to the broader potential of natural compounds like Cape. They might hold the key to unlocking new and innovative treatments for a wide range of diseases.
Like nature has this vast pharmacy just waiting to be explored.
Exactly. There's so much we don't know, but each new discovery brings us closer to understanding the intricate workings of the natural world and how we can harness its power to improve human health.
So we've talked about KPE's anti-inflammatory properties and its potential for treating autoimmune diseases. But what about its other applications? We touched on its anti-cancer effects earlier. Can you elaborate on those?
Absolutely. KP has been extensively studied for its potential in cancer therapy, and the findings are incredibly promising. It seems to work on multiple levels to combat cancer.
What do you mean by multiple levels?
Well, first, KP has been shown to directly inhibit the growth of cancer cells by interfering with various cellular processes essential for their survival and proliferation. It's like putting the brakes on a runaway train.
So it's essentially stopping those cells from multiplying out of control.
Exactly. And second, K can induce apoptosis in cancer cells. Apoptosis is basically programmed cell death, a natural process that eliminates damaged or unwanted cells.
So it's not just stopping them from growing, it's actually causing them to self-destruct.
Precisely. And there's even more. Capic can also prevent cancer cells from spreading to other parts of the body, a process known as metastasis. It does this by inhibiting the enzymes that cancer cells use to break down surrounding tissues and invade other organs. It's like setting up roadblocks to prevent the cancer from spreading.
That's incredible. So KP is like a triple threat against cancer, stopping growth, inducing cell death, and preventing spread.
You've got it. And the research is showing positive results across various cancers, including breast cancer, prostate cancer, leukemia, and melanoma. It's incredibly versatile in that sense.
Are there any specific studies you can share that highlight these effects?
Sure, a study published in the Journal of Oncology in 2023 found that KP induced apoptosis in breast cancer cells by inhibiting the NF-key signaling pathway. This reinforces the idea that NF-key is a key target for CAPE in multiple disease processes.
Wow, it's fascinating how CAPE seemed to target this crucial pathway involved in both cancer and inflammation.
Absolutely, that's what makes it so unique and potentially powerful. But this raises an important question. If CAPE-E is so effective at fighting cancer cells, what about its effects on healthy cells?
That's a great question. Is there a risk that it could harm healthy cells as well?
That's one of the main focuses of ongoing research.
Yeah.
And the good news is that many studies have shown that CAPE appears to be selectively toxic to cancer cells. This means that it targets those cells while leaving healthy cells relatively unharmed. It's like having a smart bomb that can differentiate between friend and foe.
So it's like CAPE-E has this built-in guidance system that allows it to zero in on the bad guys without harming the good guys.
That's a great analogy. And the selective toxicity is what makes CAPE so exciting as a potential cancer treatment. It offers the possibility of killing cancer cells without the harsh side effects that often accompany traditional chemotherapy and radiation.
That would be a huge breakthrough for cancer patients who often have to endure grueling treatments.
It would indeed. But as with everything else we've discussed, more research is needed to fully understand this selective toxicity and ensure that CAPE can be used safely and effectively in humans.
Right. Always proceed with caution and let science guide the way. But
Yeah.
it's definitely an encouraging avenue to explore.
It certainly is, and it speaks to the incredible potential that lies hidden within nature. Who would have thought that something as simple as bee glue could hold the key to fighting such complex diseases?
It's a humbling reminder that we still have so much to learn from the natural world.
Absolutely. And that's what keeps us scientists going, the constant pursuit of knowledge and the endless possibilities for discovery.
Well said. And speaking of exploration, we've only scratched the surface of KP's potential. There's so much more to uncover.
You're right. In our next segment, we'll delve even deeper into specific research on SOE and its various applications covering its effects on specific cancers, its potential for protecting the brain from neurodegenerative diseases, and its antimicrobial and wound healing properties. There's a whole universe of potential within this one compound, and we're just beginning to explore it.
That's exciting. Stay tuned for part 3 of our deep dive into the fascinating world of KP. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been on quite a journey exploring the incredible potential of KP, that remarkable compound derived from bee propolis.
It's been fascinating, hasn't it? We've seen how KP can potentially impact so many aspects of health, from inflammation and cancer to brain health and autoimmune diseases. It's like this one compound has a key to multiple doors in our body's systems.
It really does. And now we're going to zoom in on a couple more of those doors, starting with KP's antimicrobial properties. I was reading about how it can fight off certain bacteria, fungi, and even viruses. It's like a natural defender on a microscopic level.
That's a great way to put it. KP seems to have this broad-spectrum antimicrobial activity that's really intriguing. For example, studies have shown that it's effective against some gram-positive bacteria, like Staphylococcus aureus, a common culprit behind skin infections and other more serious illnesses.
So it's like having a natural antibiotic at our disposal.
In a way, yes. But it's important to remember that we're still in the early stages of research, and more studies are needed to figure out how to best use KP as an antimicrobial agent.
Yeah,
We need to understand dosages, potential long-term effects, and any possible interactions.
absolutely. Safety and scientific validation are key. But with the growing concern about antibiotic resistance, exploring natural alternatives like KP is definitely a worthwhile pursuit.
I completely agree. And it's not just bacteria that KP seems to target. Its antiviral properties are also fascinating. Research has shown that it can inhibit the replication of viruses like herpes simplex virus or HSV.
So it might even have potential as an antiviral treatment.
That's the hope. Some studies even suggest that CAPE might be effective against certain types of influenza viruses. It's exciting to think about the
And
possibility.
it really is. It's almost like this one compound has the potential to address so many different health challenges, from fighting infections to tackling chronic diseases.
It speaks to the power of nature and how much we still have to learn from it. And remember, all these benefits stem from CAPE's ability to interact with specific molecules and pathways within our cells. It's like having a master key that can unlock different doors depending on the situation.
That's a great analogy.
Uh,
Okay, so we've talked about KP's antimicrobial powers. Let's move on to its wound healing abilities. I read that it can help speed up the healing process. How does that work?
Well, KP has been shown to promote faster wound healing by reducing inflammation, which we know can hinder the healing process, and by enhancing collagen synthesis. Collagen is a vital protein that provides structure and support to our tissues, so it's essential for repair.
So KP is basically giving our body's natural healing mechanisms a boost.
Exactly. And this could be beneficial for a wide range of wounds, from minor cuts and scrapes to more serious injuries, and even surgical wounds. Faster healing means less scarring and a quicker return to normal activity.
That's amazing. It seems like with every aspect of KP we uncover, there's even more potential to be explored. It's like peeling back layers of an onion, and each layer reveals something new and exciting.
I couldn't have said it better myself, and that's what makes this research so compelling. We're just beginning to understand the full scope of Cape C's capabilities, and there's so much more to learn.
It really highlights the importance of continued research,
Hmm.
especially large-scale human trials, to confirm these initial findings, determine optimal dosage, and identify any potential long-term effects.
Absolutely. We need to proceed with both enthusiasm and caution, allowing rigorous scientific investigation to guide the way.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive into CAPE, what key takeaway would you like our listener to remember?
I'd say the biggest takeaway is the incredible potential that lies within nature. Cape, a compound derived from simple bee glue, has shown promise in addressing a wide range of health challenges. It underscores the importance of exploring the natural world for new and innovative solutions to improve human health and well-being.
I wholeheartedly agree. It's a reminder that there's still so much we don't know and so much more to discover. And who knows what other secrets nature holds, just waiting to be unlocked.
Exactly. So to our listener, we encourage you to stay curious, keep asking questions, and never stop exploring the fascinating world around us.
Until next time, stay well.